Yeah, Chapter 3, Lesson 21 is on supply and demand. So what we're going to be discussing is the graphs of supply and demand. And what you're going to notice that you're going to have price and quantity. And depending on what's happening with the price and the quantity, demand will go up and down, and supply will go up and down. And we're going to be looking at particular spots on that. This middle point right here is called an equilibrium. So where the two things meet, if you ever see the word equilibrium, that's what it's talking about. The happy medium is it could also be called. So we're going to explore what's happening to each one of these as price and quantity goes up and down. All right, start off with an easy one here. The Wacky Widget Company sells widgets for $2 each at wholesale. The local store has a markup of $1.59. What is the retail price? So your retail price is always going to be how much it costs plus how much you're marking it up. So that would simply just be markup plus wholesale will equal your retail. So in this case, $2 plus $1.59, so you're going to get $3.59. You're going to find a lot of questions that are in here are going to be that simple. Some things just don't overthink them. Read what the question's asking. Retail price is just these things put together. That's all that happens to be. All right, next one. The Robear Corporation sells teddy bears at a wholesale price of $23. If the retail price is $38, find the percent increase of the markup. Okay, so to do this, first of all, you got to find out how much of a markup you have. So that's going to be your retail price minus your wholesale price. Your retail price should be higher than your wholesale price, so it's always going to be bigger number minus smaller number. I mean, if you're selling it for less than what you bought it, you're going to be losing money, so I guess that would be a percent decrease. But typically, you're going to sell it for more than you paid for it. So you're going to do 38 minus 23, and then you're dividing that by the wholesale price, which is going to be the smaller of the two numbers. So retail minus wholesale divided by wholesale. And if you're going to plug that straight into the calculator, you're going to want to put parentheses around your numerator to do that. So on this one, you do 38 minus 23 divided by 23. Now, you could do 38 minus 23 in your head and do just 15 divided by 23. But if you type it into your calculator, make sure you put parentheses around that numerator. Because if you don't, you're going to get 37 for an answer. Because it'll only do 23 divided by 23. It won't do the 38 divided by the 23. So that's why the parentheses are there. So you divide that out. We'll round our percentages typically to the nearest percent. So when you put that, it's 0.652. So approximately 65% increase on the markup. All right, the graph that's going to be below here shows the supply and demand curves for a widget with a price set at $11. Explain what happens if the price is set at $9 instead. Okay, so here's the graph. So notice as your price is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, your demand is going down and your supply is going up. So our equilibrium price here is at $11. If I charge less than that, then my demand is going to be higher than the supply, which should make sense. The cheaper you make something, the higher the demand on that will be. I mean, if you sell a computer for $1,000 as opposed to selling a computer for $100, you're a lot more likely to buy that computer at $100. So $9, so just to the left right here, your demand would be higher than the supply. So what I'm going to be looking for when you get questions like this here with the graph is I'm going to ask, essentially, is the supply greater than the demand, or is the demand greater than the supply? Or if it's at the equilibrium price, you tell me that it's equal. All right, last question. Company wants to base the price of its products on demand for the product as well as on expenses. Takes a poll of its current retailers to find out how many widgets they would buy at different wholesale prices. The results are shown. Company wants to use linear regression. We'll be doing other regressions as we move through the chapters, but right now we're just going to do linear. To create a demand function, what is the equation of the demand function? Okay, so there's two ways that you can do this. You can either put it into your calculator or you can put it into Desmos. If you're going to put it in your calculator, You'd put this in as L1 and plug this in as L2. And then you would do number 4, linear regression. It's linreg. If you don't know where those buttons are, we talked about them in an earlier lesson, but you can ask me if you don't know how to get those things into your calculator. Or you can go on Desmos and you can do a table. And then after you've done the table, then on the next line, you would type in Y1. That's a Y. A very good one. Use the little tilde. And then you would type in AX1 plus B. Just like we did before. You did a project on that. That's an A on the front there. And then that should spit the equation out at you one way or another, however you decide to do it. You will get this for an answer. All right, so negative 1756.19 P. Okay, so this would be P as it says right there, and then this would be Q for amount purchased. That's why I used P and Q. X and Y, you put Y is equal to on that stuff, but make sure that you're using correct variables in this stuff so you know what's what, and that would be your equation. All right, so that's lesson 21 in chapter 3. Let me know if you have questions, especially using Desmos or your calculator.